the mayor's made it the top of his agenda for how we're going to revitalize the community.
Excellent. You know, my son and I went out the other day and we were filming the street hockey section, or segment of the show. And it was great to see when we brought Pucky out there, the Connecticut Whale brought Pucky out, and people high-fiving him, hey, Pucky, waving. You know, he went into one of the bars, it was, you know, probably about lunchtime, and everyone stood up, wanted to shake hands and high-five him. It's still there, but it's like an underground thing right now. I work at one of the universities, and the kids wear the jerseys, the hats, they know about the song, so it's time to tap that resource. And those are the people that are going to come into the city.
It's a spirit that is locked into the community when you're out there looking at this. Not only, of course, is the Hartford Whalers one of the best-selling, you know, logos in the NHL for a team that hasn't been around for years. This is exactly the sort of deep spirit that drives a community. When you look at why you create a national major league sports franchise, one of the reasons you do it is because you want to create community spirit and identity. And one thing that Hartford and Connecticut needs is it needs that sort of deep identity, and it already has one. It needs to draw it back out again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I used to go to Chuck's Steakhouse after the games, and that place would have a line out the door. The Whalers, the players themselves, would come in to, you know, have a drink after the game or dinner, depending if they were meeting family and friends. And that has to happen again. The Civic Center looks like an office building now. And again, I know Mr. Baldwin wants to, you know, revitalize it and do a retrofit, and hopefully that's in the works. What was your fondest memory of the Whalers?
Mine, as a kid, I was raised in Worcester, Mass. And, you know, we had the Bruins. And you know, you have Bobby Orr and all that other, and everything. And they were famous. But they weren't the scrappy team. They weren't the team with spirit. There was just an energy and vitality around the Whalers that really, when you look at Hartford right now, that energy, that vitality is what needs to be brought back. So as a kid, it was just being a part of that. We got to go down 2 or 3 times, and it just felt great and fun. And as you were saying, it's clean fun, it's good fun, and it's people just enjoying themselves and having a good time in their state capital.
I totally agree, and you know, when I used to go, when I was growing up, and even, you know, before they left, it was one of those things where they were our team. And don't get me wrong, the Connecticut Whale is a Connecticut Whale, but they're not our team. They're our team for now, and I can still see the people waiting to jump up for the goal when the NHL returns. Just like when you were there when Dineen scored against Patrick Waugh in Game 4, they jumped right up. And it's almost time for them to do that. And I believe with Mayor Segarra and the state stepping in at some point, I would hope, to attract a major league team.
Well, what you see happening, and I saw it, I was last working in Springfield, Mass, and you saw it there too. The sense of our team versus essentially a farm team we rent from somebody else. It's a good team, it's a good family activity.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have the same sense of depth. When you look at the Paw Sox or the Spinners up, you know, in Lowell, there's an identity with the farm team, with the Red Sox that really drives it. So we're moving it forward.
Oh, that's great. The lease expires in 2013. Do you believe there'll be a lot of people vying for that lease?
It's a big building. Right now we're working with the state. We've begun meeting with the state.
Okay.
Because 2013 is right around the corner. This is going to happen very soon, before we know it. And so we're starting to work right now on what is the best development scenario so that we can keep it in a good operating condition. It doesn't go dark. And at the same time, we do recognize that in order to bring it up to modern standards, there's going to have to be some modifications to it.
Okay.
It's not the best facility. It's a great facility, it's a good facility, but it could be even better from the locations of some of the club seats and the skyboxes, to the number of bathrooms, to the number of places you can get a soda or a hot dog. All these things need to be improved.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm glad that everyone's starting to talk about it because, you know, from the outside, you only hear little bits and pieces. You know, could Hartford be the next stop for Phoenix? You know, we don't know. You don't know what's going on. We know that Phoenix is not going to last another season. This is the last season for them. The governor and the mayor of Glendale has already said that. So what can the people who support hockey do for Hartford? Just visit, visit, visit?
Turn out, support, be there, talk it up. This is a conversation that needs to become part of the community, and people need to create a buzz around this. Because when it comes down to making decisions in a community, to invest dollars, to make moves, the elected leadership is going to look to the community to see what the community is willing to endorse. And so the community needs to be there to support their leaders and make it simpler for their leaders to make those obvious choices.
Right, exactly. Now, when you guys did the skating rink in Bushnell Park last year,
yes.
How was that accepted by the community?
It was unbelievable. We had over 20,000 people showed up.
Wow.
For that. And in terms of supporting skating and skating both as a youth activity and a community activity, we're, this year our plans are to double the size of the rink.
Wow.
And increase the time frame by about another month and a half of skating.
Unbelievable.
So we've seen this, we've seen community support, we've seen business support, we saw huge turnouts. Buses would show up from other communities, call up and ask us, can we show up? There was a wedding, there was a proposal. It was a great fun time, and we didn't have one single incident.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was a community decorum about how you should behave at a public skating venue, and it really helped bring the community together. We want to see that again, and we see that as another way of promoting skating in the city and revitalizing it as an activity.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We as you know, we march in the St. Patty's Day Parade. That's a huge event for the Booster Club. Our Vice President is Joe Wysocki. He is the spearhead on that one. He puts together the truck, he gets the guy, and believe it or not, we walk down that bar district where Black Eyed Sally's is, and they go absolutely crazy. It's like a long-lost friend that comes back. You know, how is the business downtown with the Asylum Cafe, with Black Eyed Sally's, with all those? Is it stabilizing? Are they getting? Have they seen an increase with the rebranding or the
business
the
is up? Business is up on the nights that hockey is in town. Business is up on nights that events are in town. We see the restaurants stabilizing. We're adding more housing units. More people are living downtown. All the housing units in the downtown are all the buildings are full.
Excellent.
All the buildings are full. So we're seeing some new businesses open. So we're seeing a new spring.
Excellent.
And we as the city need to be moving and supporting all those activities. And the mayor really sees the downtown as the place, sort of the living room for the region, the state's hometown, the place where everybody can come and have a fun time. And that's what we need to be doing. And that's why something like the Whalers, something like bringing back National League hockey is incredibly important to the character and the vitality of the state's capital. This is the state's capital.
I was down there the other day, you know, filming like I said, and I saw that the Russian lady's coming back.
Absolutely.
That's perfect. You know, it's almost like it's being reborn again, the downtown area. You see the moving and shaking going on. Yes, there's been some economic problems, but you know what? It looked nice. There was people in the restaurants. I talked to the guy at Agave. He sees a huge increase after hockey games. And of course, UConn, you know, you can't say anything but good about UConn and how they support and bring all those people into the city. I mean, that's a win-win anyways.
Well, we also, I mean, at the same time, one has to recognize we are in the middle of the Great Recession. Every city and every place across the country is suffering. But in spite of that, we're seeing that there's a new life, a new willingness to engage in the city, a new willingness to participate, and we need to catch that wave. We need to stay in the front of it and make sure that we bring about the change we need to.
Well, David, I appreciate you coming on, and let's bring back the NHL.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Actually, there's a kid, I work at CCHO, a police officer there.
Okay.
And the kid made that bowling pin. He's an artist. Oh, wow. Yeah, so he actually bought it. I got it for my birthday.
The Whalers logo really, it looks modern. It's timeless.
It's number 2 right now.
That was number 2 now. Yeah, I have a lot of Whalers games.
Excellent.
And I love the attention they bring to it.